What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be going over hypertension and the underlying causes of it and how we can fix it. So hypertension is skyrocketing at exponential rates, and it brings along a ton of risks. High blood pressure is sweeping the nation right now. It's detrimental to society because it is correlated with higher risk of heart attacks, strokes, atherosclerosis, which is clogging in the arteries due to plaque buildup, and many other negative outcomes. Almost half the population in the United States suffers from hypertension due to metabolic syndrome. What is metabolic syndrome? This is a set of conditions that occur simultaneously, such as increased blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess body fat around the waist, and abnormal cholesterol or triglyceride levels. And abnormal levels would be such things as low HDL and high triglycerides. So, over 50% of the population is obese, and although not everyone who is overweight experiences metabolic syndrome, over 3/4 of the people who are overweight do. But obesity is merely a symptom of metabolic syndrome because of the minute percent of people who are thin yet still experience metabolic syndrome. These people are referred to as TOFI, thin on the outside, fat on the inside. So, to treat hypertension, we must prevent the occurrence of metabolic syndrome. The main component causing metabolic syndrome is insulin. An excess of insulin, which causes insulin resistance in the body, results in vasoconstriction of the veins, therefore forcing more blood into the arteries, manifesting an increase in arterial pressure, which raises blood pressure. Insulin resistance also affects the metabolism, causing high blood sugar levels and obesity. So what causes insulin resistance? Continuous excess blood sugar levels, which is caused by an uptake in carb and sugar intake. So if you consistently are spiking your blood sugar levels, requiring your pancreas to send out insulin to the body non-stop every day, 24/7, which is what the Western diet consists of, then you're going to eventually become insulin resistant and your cells aren't going to be able to absorb the sugar and the glucose. Also, lack of exercise, because your muscle cells will not be able to absorb as much glucose either. And like I just talked about, the constant blood sugar spikes will overall aid and be detrimental in your insulin sensitivity. It will aid in the resistance. So let's go ahead and look at this graph of U.S. sugar consumption from 1822 to 2005. So as you can see, there's a massive uptrend all the way from the beginning to the end, from 1820 to 2000. So it starts off at around 5 pounds of sugar a year per person that they would consume. So every year, one person consumes 5 pounds of sugar. Now, when you go up and you look at 1980, now we're sitting at about 80 pounds of sugar per person per year, which is tremendous gains, as you can see. Then we go up only 20 more years, and there's a big jump all the way to 110 pounds of sugar per person a year, and it's just rising. Okay, so remember this, 110 pounds of sugar in the year 2000 that a person's consuming. Then we go over here and we look at a study done that was analyzing the prevalence of hypertension in 1990. Now, it was only 24% of the population, which is still a lot, but compared to now, 24% of the U.S. population experienced hypertension. Nowadays, in today's age, it's at a whopping 47%. And as you can see from the sugar consumption chart, there is direct correlation with this. Why? Because sugar, an excess in sugar, results in insulin resistance, resulting in obesity, resulting in high blood pressure, therefore having metabolic syndrome. So having a massive jump in sugar intake is extremely detrimental to society and aiding in high blood pressure in the US. So how can we reverse metabolic syndrome if we already have it? Well, doctors have been able to reverse metabolic syndrome through such things like diet, exercise, weight loss, and through these things, they've been able to show a positive trend in the severity of the metabolic condition and an overall decrease in blood pressure, including weight loss. So we know exercise aids in their weight loss, but also caloric restriction could play a role in the weight loss because now the person is eating clean, whole foods and they may feel more satiated and unintentionally eat less. But they are also losing more weight because their body is gaining insulin sensitivity back and their insulin levels are going down in their body. So we want to look to cure hypertension. Don't just treat it with pills. So whenever you're diagnosed with hypertension, you do not want to immediately go to just taking pills and looking to just mask the problem and treat it for a limited time until you hop back off of those pills. We want to look to cure it so you don't experience these things. So you must make sure you're not experiencing metabolic syndrome, sleep apnea, which is linked to obesity, and you don't have any kidney issues and no congenital problems before you even think about taking the pills. You also want to get your insulin levels, inflammatory markers, and an in-depth lipid panel so you can pinpoint what's causing your hypertension. Then you want to go into the things we talked about, the diet, the exercise, and the weight loss, and cure it from there. Pills are bad. You don't want to be reliant on pills. You want to look to be able to cure things and solve things yourself through your habits and lifestyle. And this is what we get into right here. If you have metabolic syndrome, then you can reverse it by changing your bad habits. You must change your diet and lifestyle. Listen, guys, we're all adults here. It's time to take responsibility for your health if you want to live longer and a healthier life. And that's that. So begin to only eat non-processed whole foods. Second, you want to implement intermittent fasting or time-restricted feeding where you only have a feeding window for a certain amount of time, along with physical exercise, in order to restore your insulin sensitivity much faster, much more effectively. Your blood pressure will therefore begin to drop. So guys, there's no better time to start than now. Don't make any excuses. Don't keep pedaling down this detrimental path for your health and leading you to just living a sorry, bad health life only to die in pain and leave your kids here all alone. To begin leveling up and taking positive steps to better your health and well-being, shoot me an email and we can get you going to reach your highest level of self. Make yourself and your loved ones proud for always striving to improve. You must set the example. Guys, you have to improve yourself and others will begin to take note. Be better so others can be better. Be the leader your family needs.